Okay, so we just started the 8th chapter last class, and we said this chapter starts with Arjuna's 7 questions. So I hope you would have gone back and just seen those 7 questions, or you remember the 7 questions what we post or what Arjuna asked, and Krishna's answer therefrom, and then the interconnection between those answers, because the questions were based on certain terminologies which are new to in this context of Gita, and then Arjuna wanted to get more clarity on that, which is very apt. And also because it was a purpose was to Tat Brahma Vidu Kritsnam, Kritsnam Viduhu, Kritsnam Brahmam, Brahma Viduhu. That is to know the Brahman in totality, or the Atma Jnanam, or the Brahma Jnanam. So, which was the seven ones, which we saw that briefly. Number one being Brahma, number two being Adhyatma, Adhyatma, Adhyatmam, then Karma, then Adibhutam. So 1, 2, 3, 4 Adibhutam, 5 Adidaivam, number 6 Adiyajnaha, and number 7 Prayanakala Katham Nyayaha Asi Niyatatmavihi. How do you then know this in totality? At the even up to the at the last exit of this particular deham, because this body is come for the purpose of that knowledge, not for just to enjoy and then suffer. That is a moksha, that we are all clear in that one. And then Bhagavan said in this one, I'll just read one slowly and then we can go from there. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavodhyaya Muchyate Bhuta Bhavotbhavakaraha Visargah Karma Sanghitaha Adi Bhutam Ksharo Bhavaha Purushaschadi Daivatam Adi Yajyohame Vatra Dehe Deha Pritambara Antakale Chamameva Smaran Muktva Kalevaram Yaf Prayati Samadbhavam Yati Nastyatra Samshayaha. So we finished off up to these 5 shlokas, where Krishna's answers were in the shlokas 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, and these 3, 4, and 5 we represented in a visual representation, and that we will just revise it again a little bit more, and also go through these ones again, the words, which is very important, and then go a little bit more in detail into that visual representation. I probably have it side by side. That may also be good. I can tile them both. Let me see. Let's do a tiling class today. Where's the other one? There's a contention of real estate here. So, okay. The first one we said was Brahman on top. That's the answer number one, right? Or maybe you can keep swapping. That's fine. Because then only it's clear. So the number one answer was Brahman. And that Brahman, what did Bhagavan say as in this one? He said that Brahma, which is Brahman, Brahma is Paramam Aksharam. Paramam Aksharam. That we have to again understand. Not just the drawing. Let us understand, revise what we defined in these ones again, just to revise, because we need to get the essence of these words, very important. So Paramam Aksharam. So there is an adjective to this Aksharam. So Brahman is Aksharam. Kshara means that which depletes or which can diminish. Aksharam means that which is indiminishable or immutable, an entity which is everlasting, which is ultimate, infinite, everything. And this is the Paramam adjective qualifies it to be unconditional entity. Because sometimes the Brahman is also, Bhagavan will say, after in the shloka number, so you need to get that relative context properly. Here, in shloka number, we will come in the same chapter. Omityeka aksharam Brahma, in shloka number 13. Where when it comes Omityeka aksharam Brahma, this Brahma is different from that Brahman. Because here there is an adjective Om. So here, Om means there is a syllable, there is a word, and that word kind of conditions it. So here, this Brahman here is unconditional. It is not that Om Ityakaksharam Brahma. It is not conditioned by Om. It is not the Pranavonkar. It is the unconditional Brahman, Aksharam. That's very, very important. Because the minute, so that means this is cannot be even be expressed through any of the 5 perceivable organs or be conceived by any perceivable organs. But know that as that absolute, abstract, immutable, infinite Brahman, which is the absolute consciousness. So that is Aksharam. That's why it is called Paramam Aksharam. Then Bhagavan said, Adhyatman, the Adhyatman is equal to Swabhavaha. Swabhavaha. Again, in that one, we said Swabhava comes in the here, almost here. The third in this order of cycle. And we said Adhyatman, for your so far known context of terminologies in Vedanta, think it as Adhyatman is equal to Jivatman. Adhyatman is equal to Jivatman. Because only when this, in this context of Jivatman, that indwelling consciousness, which is pervading in every, because we are all Jivatman. But that Atman is in this Jiva, in this Deha, in the Mana, in the Buddhi, conditioned. But truly, Brahman cannot be conditioned. But for our transactional purpose, that we have taken this birth with an identity, that is why it is called Adhyatman. And so that is the one that we have to take that into consideration as to saying that it is kind of, so Adhyatman, when we say Swabhavaha, so that means each one of us are conditioned by that birth with lot of our samskara. Put all the samskara into that. But the thing is, the whole thing is really a Jivatman. Whatever that is superimposed on it, the name, the different type of a form, that is immaterial. But this Jivatman keeps traveling from one body to another body as well until it gets mukti. And that is why it is important for karma and the rebirth. That is why it is is given as Adhyatman. Meaning to say, your Adhyatman in this birth is the same Adhyatman in the previous birth or in the next birth. Right? Which is what we call Jivatman. So that is what is Adhyatman. And that Bhagavan says is a Swabhava here. Okay. So is this well understood? Okay. Then the third one was Bhagavan, he said, which is pretty much easy. He said, Bhuta Bhava Udbhavakaraha Visargaha. So we asked, what was the third one was Visargaha. Bhuta Bhavodbhavakaraha Visargaha. Adi, one second, Visarga we have not come accept. Karma. Bhuta Bhavodbhavakaraha Visargaha Karma. So all these things are kind of an action-related quality. You understand? So Bhuta Bhava Udbhava Karaha means that which is doing some work. Because of that activity, it is equal to the karma. So the third word is a karma. So the minute karma means we know it's an action. So action means it has got to be a kinetic version of a quality. The quality cannot be just be saying it is white or black, or the qualities are different, tall, this thing, or you cannot say that is the action is something which is a kinetic form of a exact executional adjective. So Bhagavan said it is Bhuta Bhava Udbhava Karaha Visargaha. So Visarga is the karma, but what is this Visarga? We need to understand. Very important. Adhyatman, this Jivatman does some karma. That we all know. Karma is action, anybody knows. But truly, what is the Tattvartha of karma is what we should understand. And if you go back to chapter number 3, he said, Nahi kaschid kshanamapi jatu karmanya tantritaham. No one can remain without doing any action at any time. Actions are again, which is nobody can remain. Avashopi. And but the actions again, we said, whether you can do in the right way or the wrong manner, or you do not have to do anything. But here, the karman, in the context of adhyatma and everything, Bhagavan said it is visarga. So we need to understand visarga to understand this executional adjective of this karman. So the karman is defined as a visarga, which does a rebirth to a next adhyatman. Okay. So this visarga we should understand. Normally, what can I say? Literal meaning visarga we normally say is something to dispose. Any disposal is visarga. Now, the visarga has got two important words there. V is the prefix. Sorry. V is the prefix to the sarga. Now, sargam, like sarga you have learned, right? Sarga means that which is creation, primordial creation. Sarga means it's a creation from the earliest time, whenever the creation has happened. So that is sarga. Okay. Now, second. So sarga normally means primordial creation, right? So now, but visarga, what does it mean? That we should understand. So V means it is, see, in every sarga, there is a secondary form of a creation happening, right? That is in this particular visarga. See, sorry, I'm just trying to just a bit. I don't know why it's not tiling. Okay, no problem. So in this visarga, what we must understand is first I told you sarga means creation. Sarga is creation, which is a primordial creation, right from the first from the kalpa, from the first Chaturmukha Brahma, everything is sarga. Okay. Now within the sarga, the V is the secondary form of creation of every sentient and insentient beings within the primordial creation. So who is causing this V? V means something like Vishati, or it is a secondary form of creation that happens because of this action. So for example, like for example, this particular action, okay, you would have remembered, even for example, when we talked about how the creation for every rebirth of annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhavaham yajnat bhavati parjanyaha yajna karma samudbhavaham karma brahmud. So you see there that yajna, what you did for not the Ishwarartham, that becomes a visarga. And that visarga gives you, because see every, so that meaning to say, the name and form, the condition that you have taken now is because the way you wanted it to have it in your previous birth. So you are sowing the seeds for your next birth in this left-hand side, as far as it is done as plain karma. The minute it is done as karma yoga, then you go to the right. That is yajnartha. That is not a visarga. So that is the last one. Anantaram, that one will come later. But whenever there's an action done with some purpose of expecting any fruits or anything that is done, that particular visarga gives that action into the next janma. So, bhuta bhava utbhava karaga. Sorry. Visarjanam. So, bhuta bhava. Again, he said, right? Visarga. There is one more quality of the visarga. He said, bhuta bhava utbhava karaha. So that means every time you are born, you take one bhutam, adi bhutam. The adi bhutam is the one that gives you the next body, mind, and everything. Panchabhutam. But the panchabhutam is from there you have to take it, and the panchabhutam is constantly in changing form. Kshara means it is just constantly in a modification form. So from there you draw the bhuta, and the bhava you take from the adi daivatam. Then you get the bhuta bhava. Udbhava karaha. What is udbhava karaha? Visargaha. Now you understand the seeds that you have sown. See, that is also very important. You must understand. When you are, many people you might have who have read this, because this is where we are normally in our every birth cycle. You might have seen that Antakala one, it almost, I believe, shows you for a flash of a second your next body before your last breath happens. Only then you will leave the body. Anyway, that another shloka is coming, there I will come. So now we understand why Bhagavan put Bhuta Bhava Udbhava Karaha Visargaha Karma. So in those, every word, this much depth of meaning is there. Okay. And then Bhagavan said, then Adibhutam Ksharo Bhava. That is very, very simple. Right? That is a He Deha Bhritambara. He Deha Bhritambara. That is the one that he said. Ksharo Bhavaha Adibhutam. Ksharo Bhavaha means that is absolutely everything in a constant. The Panchabhutas are always changing. You know it. Outside of you, inside of you, everything, the Panchabhuta, they are always in the state of a flux. So that is all Adibhutam. Then Bhagavan said the Adi Devam. The Adi Devam is the one makes that Adibhutam, for example, to be an Adhyatman which can do karma. For a plant or for an animal, they probably do a karma that is voluntary. They don't involuntary. They don't have to do visarga. They have no, they don't, though they have a willpower. I mean, willpower means they have a power, but they don't have a willpower. They only have power. Right? So only if you have a willpower, you do the karma visarga. So that is why the Adi Deivatam gives that extra energy for every human. That extra energy. That is why it is also called Purushaha. He said Adi Deivatam is equal to Purushaha. Sometimes you can take it as a Purusha and Prakriti, because in chapter number 13, people have done there when Purusha would say that Purusha Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktrutve Hetu Ruchyate. That Purusha is the same Adi Deivatam here. Because you have to enjoy. What is the purpose in taking Adhyatman if you are not going to enjoy that particular seeds you have sown? Johnny, 1 second. So that is why it is important that we relate all these things, so that when you come to chapter number 13, you know that, okay, this is how the Prakriti and Purusha, that again will come in chapter 13. Purushaha Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktrutve Hetuhu Uchate. Hetu means that is the one that is giving you that cause. It is the cause. Which is the cause? Purusha. That Purusha is what? This Adidevatam. So that Adidevatam is the one that makes this Adhyatman to enjoy or to suffer or to do whatever that next body it takes to be a functional entity. So that is Adidevatam. So now you understand why Bhagavan said Adidevatam is Purushaha. And who is that Purusha? We should not think it as some kind of a another god or another being. It is a total composite form of everything. Sun god gives you some. Without sun god, your certain functions will not happen. Without wind god, there won't be nothing. Without water god, nothing. Without Agni. So everything. And there are so many Dik Devatas. There are 72,000 Devatas, which gives us different form of energy. So all that put together is Adidevatam. And that whole thing is called Purushaha. And then, and also it is known as Puri Shayanatva Purushaha or Purna. This Purusha is also known, is Purnam, is everywhere in our cycle of birth. Okay. And he said, who is this Adi Yajnaha, who is on top? He said, Bhagavan said, Attara Dehe. He said, right? Here. Attara Dehe Ahameva Adi Yajnaha. See? Attara Dehe Asmin. Atra Asmin Dehe. Where is 20? Adi Yajnaha. You understand? So he said, Ahameva Adi Yajnaha. Atra Dehe. So the Bhagavan, when we say that Bhagavan Ishvara is Adi Yajnaha. Who is the one who is represented by name and form and everything. And that Adi Yajna, we give different name and different form and different things. That's fine. That's not a problem. Because only if that name and form for Adi Yajna is there, you can do your Yajna Arthat. And that Yajnam by Vishnu, Bhagavan says. And that is the marga for Karman to use that call for Antakarana Smaranam and to attain moksha. So that is the important of Bhagavan telling you this Adi Yajna here for the sake of the moksha. Okay, so now we have got, and that this whole chapter is of this Krama Mukti. That's what I want to tell you. The succeeding shlokas and their explanation and the marga in which happens is called Krama Mukti, and this Krama Mukti is the subject matter of the chapter. This item number 7. Item number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is just for your contextual reference, but the concentration, what Bhagavan will give you, the upayam, and also the more explanation is on this item number 7, Krama Mukti. This is what is this? Akshara Brahma Yogam. Okay. That must be very clearly understood. Okay. Sorry, somebody said something? Okay. So now I have not come to the Antabhuta Kale. So now again, Antakale chamameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaf prayati samatbhavam yati nastyatra samshayaha, Bhagavan said. Now this Antakala Smaranam is a very important one. Now, this is not only true in case of, so Bhagavan, what he says, for example, in this one, Yaha means what? Whomsoever, this particular human being, Yaha antakale. Everyone who is born has got an antakalam. We read the chapter, we read the shloka, but I've got to go explain more. Yaha antakale. Antakale means what? Until that until the last breath. When all the organs subside, when the last prana, the breath is going to leave, that is the antakalam. The last breath. Finito. That antakala pranan cha, what says, Mam yeva. Here when Bhagavan says Mam, me, Parameshwaram, that Vishnu alone, Mam yeva smaran, meaning to say his steady of thought is always in that only that Ishvara. Smaran, with that thought, that last thought in the last breath, if you can think of God, Kalevaram Muktva, when that body, Kalevaram means your body, physical body, Muktva, meaning to say shedding the physical body. Muktva, Prayati. Prayati means that's why we call Prayanam, meaning to say Prakrishena Yati, meaning to say that if he departs from that last breath from that this body, if he can do that, the last prana, even that one thought of that Bhagavan, if you are there, then he said, Saha, this same person, Yaha, this Saha, this person, Madbhavam Yati. He certainly comes to the Ishvara Bhavam, not Swabhavam. You understand now? Instead of going to a Swabhava, which is the Adhyatman, he goes to the Ishvara Bhava. Ishvara Bhava. Yati. Ishvara Bhavam, Yati. That is why it's not Prayati. It's Yati. Because there is no rebirth. Matbhavam Yati. That technique or that upaya is what is expand this chapter. Matbhavam. When it says Matbhavam, Ishvara Bhavam. Yati. Atra means what? In this statement, what I have told you, Arjuna, this is a secret of departure. Atra samshayaha na asti. Don't have even one atom of the doubt. Now, for example, you know, this is what I was trying to tell you. That, you know, we must be very careful. But is it possible? It's very difficult. See, because it is just like this. You may think, okay, somehow I will get it. Yes, it is important. But normally you have seen in our even day-to-day activities, we may think, yeah, I will not. But I believe so that, you know, when we leave, for example, you go to some place to visit. Yeah, that last minute when you're leaving that place, even if it could be something good, at that time only your affection to that place is very strong. Or if the experience is very bad, you completely want to get rid of the place. Oh my God, let me get out of this place. I didn't eat this place. Or if the place was very good, or if a person is so good, as far as that person is there, we may be very, very happy. You know, say your son or your daughter or you are visiting you after a long time. And the last day when he is leaving, that's when the whole affection will pour. The whole tears will pour, right? You see everybody in the airport, in the station. When they depart, when they are leaving the near and dear, they are full of tears, hugging, and then, you know, in that airport. So why? At the time of departure only, the affection goes multifold. It is not that easy. At that last time only your affection in this body. See, at say whatever age you die, certainly the body is going to be completely in a state that you will think, oh God, if I can. But I believe so not. Even for every man, even in that ICU, when he's breathing, he'll say, oh no, I want this. I don't want to go. Affection itna jasti hota hai. And that is why Bhagavan said this antakalam is very important. And I believe that's what I wanted to tell you. So when the Yamadutas come and take you, that with Pranan, the Yamaduta, they fight with you literally. You say, no, I won't come. They will say, no, come. You have to come. You'll say, no, I won't. अरे ये तो कचड़ा बॉडी है, अभी छोड़ के तो जाओ. नहीं छोड़ेगा तुम. उस वक्त भी पकड़ के रखेगा तुम ये कचड़ा बॉडी को. Then he, I believe, shows you a glimpse. नहीं नहीं भैया, तुमको अभी नया बॉडी है, इधर देखो ना, तुम्हारा नया बॉडी है इधर में, अभी ठीक है ना, आएगा, हाँ ठीक है, अभी आएगा. Then you go away. This is what Shastra says. I am not fabricating it. I have not done this last breath thing. This is what our Shastra says. It says the Jiva Atman, when it wants to depart from the body, it is like a grasshopper jumping from one grass blade to the another grass blade. When it jumps, I believe the grasshopper puts 1 foot on the other grass blade, then it leaves the other one. It won't just jump. It wants to put the leg. So the creation is in such a manner that it shows you for a glimpse. Then only you leave this body. It's like, we do all our IT, transition state, current state, target state. Current state, maybe you have to put 1 foot, target state also. Then you do a transition, something like that. So there is a transition, migration from one body to another body. You know it, I believe, but you will not be able to, and that flash again, then it finishes off. Because that is only to show you so that you can drop this body and go. So Bhagavan says, Tyaktva, that anda muktva, that is why muktva, kalevara muktva. If you can at that time to say, look, I don't want to see this body or my next body, show me only Krishna. Try. That is the best thing Bhagavan says. That is a challenge. And that is what this whole chapter and Gita is, this particular one is all about. If one can attain that particular bhava. So be very careful about this Antakala Smaranam. So to exercise that, Bhagavan says, so I'm coming to the today's new one. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajat yante kalevaram tam tame vaiti kaunteya sada tat bhava bhavitaha. Once more. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajat yante kalevaram tam tame vaiti kaunteya sada tat bhava bhavitaha. So to again stress this one, Bhagavan says, Arjuna, yes, it is possible. Though it appears impossible, though there are a lot of difficulties, impediments, Krishna says it is possible, Arjuna. And how to do that? Bhagavan says one more thing here. Hey Kaunteya, hey Kunti Putra, Yaha, number 2, Yaha here, Tyajat Ante, Ante, Yaha, that person, Ante, in this Tyajatyante means Tyajati Ante becomes Tyajatyante. Ante, that Antakale or Antakala Prane, Ante, Yam Yam Vapi. Yam means what? Whatever, Vapi, ever. Yam Vapi. Whatsoever. Smaran. Bhavam Smaran. Yam Vapi. Bhavam Smaran. Whatsoever entity of Bhavam. That entity, Bhavam means what? It is from your heart. That Bhavam, it flows from your heart into the mind. It could be the Devata, it could be an entity, or it could be your an object. Who knows? Maybe a house. It could be an object, inanimate object. Many people, it could be a sentient object, something. Bhavam, Smaran. With keeping that in the mind. Who knows? Maybe you may be, because I know many people, when the last sages, they say, oh, take me to the village I was born, near the house I was born. मैं जो उधर ही मेरा प्राण छोड़ेगा, मुझे कैसा भी लेके जाओ, बस वो भूमि को मैं टच करना चाहिए, मैं जो जन्म हुआ था मेरा उस ग्राम पे लेके जाओ. So you see, it could be anything, and this is very natural, you have seen. And if that bhavam smaran Kalevaram Tyajati, if he leaves that breath thinking about that, Kalevaram Tyajati, Saha, I'm adding Saha. Who is this person? Sada, this adjective. for this person. Sadatat bhava bhavitaha. Because he has been always been dreaming about it this all the time. Say, for example, I will take only from my experience, right? For example, we have been so much here, but if always been you've been thinking about the place that in India, though we are there, maybe our thoughts is always there, even Shringeri, or it could be your Kashi, or it could be somewhere, the kshetra that you finished. Oh God, when I went there, it was so peaceful. Rishikesh, oh my God, Bhagwan, that Rishikesh, that's enough. Sadatat Baba. So because you have been always from morning to evening, your desire and everything could be that particular entity, or even that Krishna, for example, which will be the best thing. Tat bhava bhavitaha, because he was all the time endowed with that smaran, with that particular thought of that devata all the time. It's a past participle. Tat bhava bhavitaha, who was always in that thought of that particular entity. Tat bhava bhavitaha tam tam yeva eti. That bhavam he certainly attains. So meaning to say, you have today the power to determine where you want to be born, where you want to live in the Prantakala Pranan, how you want to do it. It's complete willpower. If you can have that particular thought of Bhagavan or that particular Ishvara in that one. But anything, Bhagavan says, look, this is the true cycle of nature. Whomsoever thinks about that, that's what he attains in that Antakalam. So that means that final thought alone is the key factor for the next Janma. Because these are all in the cycle of rebirth. So Bhagavan said, Arjuna, you don't want to be born again. You don't want to go back into the cycle of again and again taking another Adhyatman. So Tasmat, therefore Arjuna, Sarveshu Kaleshu, Mam Anusmara Yudhya. I'll read this sloka. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu manusmara yudhya cha mayyar pitamano buddhihi me vaishyasya samshayaha. It's a tongue twister. I'll go slow. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu manusmara yudhya cha mayyar pitamano buddhihi me vaishyasya samshayaha. Or samshaya, both are okay. So, tasmat. Therefore, from the above shloka 6, Arjuna, that because of that last minute thought, which is our goal, tasmat, sarveshu kaleshu. At all times, right from this time that I've given you this teaching, Bhagavan says, right from this time, sarveshu kaleshu. From the time your mind is working, probably even in dreams, sarveshu kaleshu. Mam anusmara. Mam, Krishna, Mahavishnu, Narayana, Paramashivan, Ambal. Mam, Anusmara. Smara is thinking. Anusmara means what? Continuously keeping that in the back of your thought. But even keeping in the thought, you do the work. Yudhya. So even when you are doing the duty, whatever you're doing, but back of the thing, for example, you're going to a shop to buy some, say, toy or something for your child, but you don't, the child is what is in your say you got a grandson. You want to go buy the toy for the grandson. The grandson ka jo pasand hai, wo aapka chinta mein hai, grandson. But you are looking at the toy, but the grandson is in you. No. He likes only this rocket with a red color. He likes a rocket with this one. So you go to the toy shop. No, not this. He likes that one. I know. He likes this color, this sound. So you're though that grandson is in your Anusmaran, but you are also searching and finding the thing. Similarly, Bhagavan is saying, keep me in my background and do all the action. That's all. Yudhya. And while doing this as such, whatever that may happen, because when you do this, there could be good result, bad result, or may not be no result. But what you do, Mai arpita mano buddhihi. When you do all the duties, whatever the reactions in your mind and your buddhi, have that completely, surrender it unto me. Do not worry, just deposit into me. Mai arpita means what? Just deposit unto me. Do not worry about it. Jo aya, jo gaya. Don't worry about it. Mai arpita mano buddhi. Your mind and your wisdom has only deposit into me. When the mind, when it is deposited, all the likes and dislikes, whether the result is however it is, because we are all human, we will gauge. And that you leave it to him. Buddhi means what? The wisdom still, let it not wander into any other negative side. That buddhi, if Mayarpita Mano Buddhi, if this is the way you are going to be there, certainly Mam Yeva Yeshyasi, certainly your Antakala Smaran will be on me. So the solution for number 6, Bhagavan has very clearly said. One is Mam Anusmara Yudhya. And then Mayarpita Mano Buddhi. If you do these two, Arjuna, Mam Yeva Yeshyasi. Yeshyasi means Mam Yeva Yati, or you certainly will come unto me. Asamshayaha. Mam Yeva Yeshyasi Asamshayaha. Do not have any doubt on this. That's why Bhagavan's guarantee again. So Bhagavan gives the upayam. Then one more shloka we will do before today. The next two ones are very quite deep one. So then how to cultivate? Bhagavan gives you one more upayam. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanya gaminam paramam purusham divyam yati parthanu chintayan. Once more. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanya gaminam paramam purusham divyam yati parthanu chintayan. So, hey Partha, Arjuna, how does that happen, this practice? Abhyasa yoga yuktena. So there are 3 words in this. Abhyasa, yoga, yukta. Tena. Yuktena, with that. This is a Tritiya Bhakti, with that one. So Abhyasa, beautifully, though we have also learned about Abhyasena Kaunteya, Vairagena cha Grihyate. Here, Shankara gives a beautiful definition, one more on this Abhyasa, very contextual into this, because here it is the Mayarpita Mano Buddhi Mam Anusmara. So what Bhagavan says here, Shankara says, I'll just read that and then give you. Tulya pratyaya vritti lakshanaha vilakshana pratyayan antaritaha. Meaning to say, Tulya pratyaya, whatever, Tulya means similar, whatever that is equal to, whatever that is like Bhagavan, like, like Ishvara, whatever that is divine, that for him, Ishvara. For example, we think of Krishna in his particular Ishvara as a Krishna, or, the Ishvara in the form, but, oh God, look at the Chandra. Oh, no, this Chandra is like Krishna's turn. Oh, this is like Devi's face. And this particular sky, wow, isn't it like the locks of his hair? So similarly, so in all of them, you are imposing pratyaya vritti lakshanaha. In the whatever we conceive in that bhava of that Ishvara, and vilakshana pratyayan antaritaha, whatever that draws us away from these ones in the world, and that to negate it. This is the abhyasa. Abhyasa. This kind of an abhyasa, superimposing Bhagavan in every entity we see, in entity that we do, in all the actions we do, and with that, yoga yuktena, with that as a yoga yukta, yoga, and that yoga in this abhyasa is also getting the nanyagamina chetasa. That yukti, because it's a convicted abhyasa. It is not a blindfolded practice. That yukti is where it is very important, because the wisdom comes out of that with a viveka buddhi. That's how the yukti comes. And with that yoga yuktena, Nanyagamina chetasa. Not letting the na anyagamina. Gamina means that which runs away. Anyagamina means anyagamina means not letting the thoughts to get attracted into anything except Ishvara. With that chetas, with that resolute mind, non-destructive mind, not letting the thoughts to wander away widely in things that will take you away from Ishvara. With that as a chetas, that with a resolute mind, rooted deeply with the viveka and vairagya, and what Bhagavan says, divyam paramam purusham. Divyam paramam purusham. So, divyam paramam purusham. Here purusham is equal to adhiyagyam. You understand here? Now it's slightly different here. Here purusham. So, here divyam paramam purusham. Paramam purusham, because it is that it is akshara brahman. Sorry. No, sorry. It is adhiyagyam because it's a purusham. Paramam purusham. Uttama purusha. Purushottama. So it is still adhiyagyam. So that because we cannot think without the name and form. Right? Whereas Akshara Brahman is without any name and form. We cannot put it directly into that, always thinking something. Thinking of nothing, I can't do everything. Right? So that is why Bhagavan said Divyam. Divyam means that which is effulgent, ever present in and so prakasham that you are able to see, right? In Bhagavan, in every mandir, in every form that we perceive. That is why it is Divyam. And that Paramam, there is a supreme, all-pervading, that Aksharam Purusham, that particular Ishvara. Anuchintayan. Here, Anuchintayan. Number 8. Anuchintayan. Again, Anuchintayan means Anusmaran. In constant absorption of the meditative mind, Anuchintayan yati. Tameva yati. That Purusham, that Adiyagyam eva yati, he certainly attains. So that particular one, yati. So that is what we again refer this one, the Krama Mukti. One is Yajnartat Karmanam. And while doing that, that particular Anusmaran all the time of the Adi Yajna. And this Krama Mukti, Bhagavan will explain much more in the subsequent shlokas, but I don't have time today because the next 2 shlokas are quite a bigger chandas, and you have to be taken both of them together. And that's the Prayana Kala. And actually, that 2 shlokas form the actual answer to the question number 7, and that we can't do today. The question number 7 by Arjuna. Actually, we can say 7b, though he have given a lot in the Antakala, but in the Prayana Kala, how this happens is these 2 shlokas together, which we can't cover today because it's quite a lot in depth. Again, we have to see there are quite a lot to break in and check and do that one. So with that, I will finish the class today. Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Akshara Brahma Yogo Nama Ashtamo Dhyayah Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Ata Gita Mahatmyam Dharau Vacham Bhagavan